I'm very grateful and honored to be with all of you here in Stockholm. This week began a very special month of Kārttika. Have all of you heard for Kārttika? Is there anyone who didn't hear for Kārttika yet? This is very special month. This is month of most intimate spiritual love. Shri Gaur Nitai ki jai, Shri Panchatattva ki jai. Yes, it's most sacred month of all, actually, and the most merciful month also. It is called also Urja, month of Urja. Have you heard about Urja before? Urja means power, energy, also electricity. All this is Urja. Every energy is actually Urja, and we know even from physics that everything is composed of energy. Whatever we see, whatever we perceive. And the original energy is Srimati Radharani. Srimati Radharani is Urja. Therefore, she is called Urjeshwari, the goddess of Urja, or the mistress of Urja, of energy. So whatever we perceive is manifestation of Srimati Radharani, and she's the personification of divine love, actually. But as soon as one becomes selfish in his life, or doesn't put the Supreme Lord in the center of his life, then this most merciful energy of love transforms into Durga. Have you all heard about Durga? Durga is material energy, and although she's also a divine origin, she emanates from Radharani, who is personification of love. Her duty is to kill everyone. So if you stay in the boat of Durga, you'll be killed. So the Lord Chaitanya, who is on this altar also, came to this world just to help us to find something that every one of us are seeking from time immemorial. It is explained in the scripture that every living entity is anandamayo vyasat. That means that by our very nature, we are living entities of pleasure, of happiness, of joy. We cannot live without happiness even for a moment, actually. Whatever we do, whatever we speak, whatever we think, knowingly or unknowingly, is just searching for pleasure, searching for happiness. Even if we do something that we don't want to, that is not pleasurable for us, but we do it just because we are afraid that if we don't do this particular thing, that I'll be in more trouble. So yes, we are living entities of pleasure. But the problem is that the living entities in this world don't know how to find the real pleasure that they are seeking for. In the beginning of Srimad Bhagavatam, there is the description that there was a great gathering of sages in the forest of Naimisharanya, and they elected most glorious and prominent speaker Sutta Goswami. And they asked him, Burini Buri Karmani Shrotavyani Vibhagasha Adaksadotrayat Saram Samudritya Manisha Bruke Badraya Bhutanam Yanatma Suprasidati. You have studied many shastras, many scriptures. And in these different scriptures, many different processes are described. And with different goals. Please explain us what is the essence of everything. Yes, because just before this verse they explained that people in this age of Kali, have you heard about the age of Kali? This is the age of quarrel and hypocrisy. And I believe I don't have to prove to you that it's true, because everyone experiences that this is the age of quarrel and hypocrisy. Everywhere we can experience. So he said that this, the sages said that in this age, people are very short-lived, and they don't have power of good memory, and also that they are always disturbed. So in such a situation, there is not possibility to study so vast different scriptures, because we know the Vedas are practically unlimited. Millions and millions of verses are there. So who can study everything thoroughly? So they asked Sutta Goswami, please explain us what is the essence of everything, by which one can become perfectly happy. Yanatma suprasidati. Atma means the self, and suprasidati means perfectly happy. Prasidati means happy, but suprasidati means perfectly happy. And in the very next chapter, in the second chapter of first canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, Sutta Goswami answers this question. And he says, Savai pumsam parodharmo yato bhaktira dokshache ahoitiki apratihata yayatma suprasidati. And he uses this the very same word, suprasidati, perfectly happy. One can become only and solely by ahoitiki bhakti. Bhakti means love, loving service. And hetu means cause, and ahetuki means without any motive whatsoever. So it should be completely selfless love, not expecting anything in return, to a dokshaja. Aksha means eyes, and a dokshaja means the personality who is beyond our sense perception, or absolute Lord. Because if our love is directed to something or someone who is not absolute, then our love has limits. You understand? And what is beyond these limits, we don't like. So we cannot be happy if there is something that we don't like. Isn't it true? Yes. Who can be happy if there is something that you don't like? Yes. So, not possible. So, perfect happiness can be achieved only if we develop love for the absolute Lord. And there is no other way possible. So, Srimati Radharani is the goddess of this absolute, unconditional, uninterrupted love. And this month of Kārttika is the special opportunity to connect with her in the service of the Supreme Lord. And this month is full of sweetness, so much sweetness. Of course, if someone is not familiar with Krishna conscious philosophy, it may seem to be so ordinarily sweet that cannot be divine. But just the opposite is true. Yes, it's so sweet. It's beyond our understanding. It is explained in Shastra, in the scriptures. Achintya kalu ye bhava natam starkena yojayet prakriti bhyah paramyacha tad achintasya lakshanam. That those things that are transcendental cannot be understood by material logic. Yes, because our mind and our intelligence, they are material elements. Yes, Krishna explains in 7th chapter of Bhagavad-gita that mind and intelligence are material elements, and nothing material can penetrate to the spirit, to transcendence. So by material logic we cannot understand, but we can understand with our heart. Yes, because our heart is the seat of our soul, and our soul is spiritual. It's spiritual entity. It's not material. So in this month we specially celebrate this extremely sweet Leela. Leela means pastime of Lord Damodara. Lord Damodar, or Krishna, is a very small boy who took birth in Vrindavan, or actually there are two explanations of his birth. One is in Mathura, in the prison of Mathura, but even more confidential is his birth in Vrindavan. But somehow or other, his childhood pastimes were going on only in Vrindavan. And Lord Krishna, as a little boy, he was extremely fond of butter. And but although he was a son of a king of the cowherds who had unlimited cows, and of course unlimited butter also, he still went to other houses to steal butter from other people. And the neighbors were drowned in ecstasy of love, but still to share this ecstasy, they, on the external level, they complained to Mother Yashoda. Mother Yashoda was mother of Krishna. They complained that your son is stealing butter in our houses. And therefore, Mother Yashoda one day decided that Krishna certainly eats butter in other houses because our butter is not good enough. So I will today I will make butter myself, because she's the queen. She usually has servants that they do butter, they do churning. But she decided that this particular day she will do the butter herself. He will churn the butter from the best possible milk. As we said, Nanda Baba, or King Nanda, he had unlimited cows. Of those unlimited cows, 900,000 were most prominent. And of those 900,000, there were 16,000 most prominent of cows. And from these cows they collected milk, and they fed 108 best of cows with this Gandhamadana milk. Especially they were fed by most fragrant grass, and then they took this milk, and by this milk they fed even more special cows, 108. And then they collected this condensed sweet milk of these 108 cows and fed 8 most prominent cows. And from these 8 most prominent cows, they took milk and fed 1 the best of cows. And the milk of this best of cows was condensed nectar. Yes, was the best of the best of the best possible. So she took this particular type of milk, and she churned butter from this milk. And along with this churning of butter, she sang the songs of Krishna. Yes, because everyone in Vrindavan, which is spiritual abode actually, when Krishna comes to this world, he also manifests everything around himself from the spiritual world. Yes, because Krishna never lives in material world. Even when he becomes manifest to the eyes of people in this world, he actually manifests his spiritual existence. Yes, that is usually not perceived materially. Yes. Confirmed. So yes, can anyone switch? Oh. But still you can switch off the sound. It will not... Oh yes. Okay, so Krishna manifests spiritual world within this world. And also these associates live only for Krishna. Vrindavan is the abode where everyone lives only for Krishna's pleasure. And everyone is drowned in the ocean of ecstasy. And I believe after the class we will sing the Mudarashtakam. And in this special song, and in one stanza it is explained, Iti driksvalila virananda kunde svagosham nimajantam akyapayantam tadiyeshitab gishu bhaktarchitatvam puna prematastam shata vritti vande. That is, the Lord is drowning everyone in the pools of ecstasy. Ananda kunde. Ananda means ecstasy. And kunda means the pool, the ocean of ecstasy. And he shows that no one can attain him without pure unalloyed love. And therefore we are here to learn unalloyed love, actually. Unalloyed love can be learned. Yes, because now from time immemorial we are learned to be self-centered. Yes, everyone is self-centered. And this is natural. Also is explained in Bhagavatam that everyone is self-centered. But we should realize that the Lord is the self of ourself. So when we are self-centered in the true sense, we become centered on Krishna, on Absolute, who is our super soul. Yes, who is the self of ourself. So she was singing about Krishna, songs about Krishna, full of love of Krishna. Everything that she does is for Krishna's pleasure. And because of her love, Krishna woke up. He was a very small boy, and he was sleeping, and he woke up. Her love attracted him so much. Love is very attractive. Has unlimited attractive power. Krishna is known as the attractive one. Krishna, the word Krishna itself means the attractive one. But bhakti, represented by Srimati Radharani, is Sri Krishna Akarshini. That means the one who attracts even the all attractive one. So bhakti or love is more powerful than the most powerful one. More powerful than the God himself. Yes. So we should connect to this divine love. So he was attracted to this divine love from his mother Yashoda, and he came to her and he wanted to drink her breast milk. And she picked him up and fed him very happily, and he was perfectly happy. But it happened that on the stove there was milk boiling, and was starting to overflow from the pot. And Mother Yashoda put aside Krishna and went to save the milk. One would think, how in this world is this possible? If she has unlimited love for Krishna, and Krishna is perfectly happy in her lap, drinking her milk, and her husband, the king of Raja, has unlimited cows, and she puts aside Krishna, who is perfectly happy, and went to save few drops of milk. It seems illogical, isn't it? Yes, but teaches us something very profound. Because this milk was for Krishna, this was not for her selfish purpose. This milk was meant for Krishna's service, was even more important than Krishna himself. Yeah, so service to the devotees, service to these things that are meant for Krishna's pleasure are even more, this such service is even more important than direct service to Krishna. Yes, so we should try to seek service to the devotees. This has the most powerful effect on developing love. Yes. But Krishna became very angry. And he picked up a stone and broke the pot. And then he went to some other place and broke another pot of butter. And he was eating this butter and distributing it to the monkeys. And when Mother Yashoda came back, she saw that there is a broken pot and buttery footprints to some other room. And she took a stick to teach a lesson, Krishna. And she went after him. And then the monkeys noticed Mother Yashoda, and screamingly they ran away. So Krishna also immediately noticed his mother and also started to run. And it is explained in Shastra, in the Upanishads, that the Absolute is the fastest, that no one can catch the Absolute. Not even great munis, great thinkers, great yogis cannot catch the Absolute Lord. It's not possible. And we can see from the 10th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, once the Lord, when he was in Mathura, Kalayavana, great demon, came to Mathura to fight with Krishna. But Krishna didn't want to fight with him. He just walked away. He just walked without any arms, without any weapons. And then this Kalayavana started to run after Krishna to catch him. But he couldn't. Although Krishna seemed to him to be very near, he couldn't catch him. Yes. And he led him to some cave where some other personality was sleeping. And I will not go deep into this other story. But my point was that he couldn't catch Krishna, although he was very powerful soldier. Yes, and soldiers are very physically fit, aren't they? Yes, they have to be physically extremely fit. But although this fit soldier couldn't catch Krishna, Mother Yashoda, who is mentioned to be quite chubby actually, she was not slim as these models of modern world are. She caught Krishna. She ran faster than Krishna. Yes, she had practically, it is explained, She had more love for Krishna than Krishna could have for her. Yes. So, by this love, Krishna was able to be caught. Yes. So, and then she wanted to bind Krishna, that Krishna wouldn't do any further nonsense, because she had to do some different household duties she had to perform. So, in order to protect Krishna, she wanted to bind him. But Krishna didn't want to be bound. Shri Gauranitai ki jai, Shri Panchatattva ki jai. Hare Krishna. What are the other deities?
Nitai Gora Sundara.
Nitai Gaura Sundara. These are the big deities. Nitai Gaura Sundara. Yes, they are really Sundara. Very beautiful. So, Krishna didn't want to be bound. But Mother Yashoda wanted to bind him. So she took a ribbon from her hair, and it was quite long ribbon, and wanted to bind him. But it turned out that this ribbon was 2 fingers too short. And then she collected more ropes from the neighborhoods and tied them together. And still, Krishna's belly didn't grow bigger, but still the rope was 2 fingers too short. And it was really amazing. Even the neighbors came out and to see the fun. And no one could understand. It is explained by our acharyas that Krishna's belly was 12 fingers across. But although Mother Yashoda collected so many different ropes and tied them together, all of them were always 2 fingers too short. But Mother Yashoda wanted to find out what is the circumference of her child's belly. So she really tried hard to bind him, and she perspired. And finally, Krishna, because he saw how Mother is exerting in her effort, he showed her his mercy and allowed to be bound. So he was bound to the wooden mortar. And this is the song about this also, how Mother Yashoda caught Krishna and bound him, actually with her love. No one can bind Krishna by his power or by his intelligence or by his skills, different skills. So everything in this world, everything material is considered to be a zero, nothing, of no value. Even if someone is most wealthy person, like, I don't know who is considered most wealthy? Elon Musk. If someone is as wealthy as Elon Musk, who heard about the story about Shamantaka jewel? Can you raise your hand? Just 2 persons. You don't know the story of Shamantaka. 3, 4. Yes, this is amazing story from 10th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. Shamantaka jewel, it is explained that produced little more than 70 kg of gold every day. Enormous gold. But I've studied some this wealth of Elon Musk, actually. He has more wealth than if he had 2 Shamantaka jewels from his birth. That means that he earns more than 150 kgs of gold every day. enormous wealth. One cannot imagine. But still, even though one has such wealth as Elon Musk, that means he earns 180 or 200 kgs of gold per day, still it worth nothing, zero. It's useless, because everyone, even such wealthy personality, has to die, and he cannot take his gold with him. So our skills, it is explained in 9th chapter of Bhagavad-gita. Mogasha moga karmano moga jnana vichetas rakshasim asurim cheva prakriti mohinim shita. That mogasha moga karmano, our endeavors are in vain. Our hopes are in vain. Our knowledge is in vain. Our work is in vain. Everything is in vain, is useless if we take shelter of material energy, if we don't surrender to Krishna. Yes, everything is in vain. It's just useless. But if we surrender to Krishna, then our achievement, everything we know, everything we have, gets some other value. It is explained that everything in this world is zero. And no matter how many zeros we put together or multiply or whatever we want to do with zeros, 0 plus 0 many times 0 is still how much? Is 0, one big 0. But Krishna is supposed to be 1. And if we put many zeros after 1, then becomes something big. So if we use our talents for our selfish purposes, everything is in vain. Everything is lost. Everything is useless. All our endeavors are just in vain. But if we surrender our life to Krishna, then everything becomes perfect. Everything becomes perfect and valuable, because we can use our abilities, our knowledge, our wealth for service of Krishna. And only then is useful. Yes, only then is useful. So, Krishna teaches us with this pastime, when Mother Yashoda tried to bind Krishna, that two things are extremely important in our life. These are represented. This is an esoteric message of this lila, of this pastime, that there are two things extremely important in our life, spiritual journey. And this one thing, one finger, which the rope was too short, is our endeavor. We have to endeavor for spiritual perfection. One who thinks, yes, I'm spiritual, he'll be cheated. Yes. Therefore, Prabhupada established Krishna consciousness movement just to help us to go deep in our spiritual relationship with the Lord. Because if we don't have deep relationship, we'll be cheated. And deep relationship with the Lord in Kali Yuga, this is the age of Kali, of quarrel and hypocrisy, can be established by one means only. And this is the chanting of the holy names. Therefore, we chanted before the class, and we will chant after the class. And everyone individually is invited to chant. Prabhupada said that one who is serious in pursuit of his happiness, we just established that everyone wants to be happy, isn't it? But we can find happiness only with this divine connection with the Lord. And this is possible by regularly chanting, also individually. Everyone has to chant. And Prabhupada said at least 16 rounds a day. At least 16 rounds. Everyone chants 16 rounds here? Can you raise your hands, those who chant at least 16 rounds? Not so many. Yes, some are there, but not so many. Please, go deep in your spiritual life. Otherwise, you may think, yes, 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 I'll do it when I'm old. But you will not. Kaumaraha charit pragyo dharman bhagavataniha. Durlabhah manushan janma tadapya durvamartadam. Prad Maharaj said that one should perform devotional service from the very beginning of life. So, when we first hear for spiritual life, then our lives begin. Yes. So, we should take our life seriously. It's not a joke. It's not a joke. Because this is dead joke. Yes, we'll be dead. Sooner or later, Lord Jesus said that no one knows his hour and time. Yes. It can come any moment. And the time of death is not so pleasant. Even if we are experienced in spiritual life, if we step on a thorn, for example, it's very bothering, isn't it? Yes. Although this thorn takes only a millimeter or something in our foot, still it's very difficult to concentrate on chanting, for example, of the holy name, because this thorn is pricking me in my leg. So I have to pull it out to comfortably chant again. But death is even more traumatic experience, much more traumatic than just small thorn in our foot. Our lungs are stopped functioning. Our kidneys are failing. Our liver is failing. Our heart is failing. Our sight and hearing, everything is failing, is falling apart. So this is very traumatic experience. It's not easy, not something pleasurable. So at that time, how much our mind is disturbed? Extremely disturbed. So it's not possible to think of something that we were not trained to think during our life. Naturally, we'll take shelter of things that we were taking shelter all our life. So if this is our family, we'll try to find solace and shelter in our family at the time of death. And if we took shelter in our money during our life, we will try to take shelter also at the time of death. We will be ready to pay any amount of money to just prolong our life for some moments. Understand? Yes. Only if we take serious shelter in the Lord, that means serious chanting of the holy name, we'll be able to connect with the Lord also at the time of death. Yes. This is the secret of success. Therefore, Prabhupada, from his compassion, brought us this process of devotional service, process of sadhana bhakti. Sadhana means practice. Lord Krishna explains in 12th chapter of Bhagavad-gita, Mayeva mana adatsva mayi buddhim niveshaya, nivasishasi mayeva ata urdvama samshaya. That with your mind always think of me. Mayeva, only on me. Mayi buddhim niveshaya, and engage your intelligence in me only. And he says, in this way, you will, without any doubt, always dwell in me. But then he says, Atarchitam samadatum nashaknoshi maistiram abhyasa yogana tato mami chaptum dananjaya. And this means, if you cannot be so immersed 24 hours in such a samadhi, in such absorption in me, then engage in abhyasa yoga, that means practice, in sadhana bhakti, practice of bhakti, that means regular chanting of the holy names, at least 16 rounds a day. To devote ourselves to practice, to regular practice. And by such a practice, Krishna explains, one will develop desire to attain me. And this is the secret, to attain desire, to attain Krishna. Yes. And only then we can really start to hanker for this loving relationship. And only when we develop this hankering for a loving relationship, it is possible to start to develop divine love. Otherwise, it's just a nice story. Nice story to hear and to enjoy a few times a year. But thinking this is impossible for me. But it's possible for everyone. It's meant for us. It's not meant for others. It's meant for us. And atato brahma jigyasa. Now it is the time. Because in spiritual existence, there is only now. Tomorrow never comes. Have you experienced that tomorrow comes? No. Tomorrow never comes. And yesterday is gone forever. So reality is only now. Only now is reality. So now, atato brahma jigyasa. Now is the time for searching for the absolute truth. And the ultimate search for the absolute truth is chanting of the holy names. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Please chant these holy names every day, without exception, and go deep in your connection with the holy name. And if you chant these holy names, it's not enough that we just chant mechanically, because we can see that many are chanting like this, that they're scrolling their phones, they're reading something, they're speaking to other people, and they think that they are connecting through japa, or chanting of the holy names on japa beads. But actually they're not. So the secret of success is to go deep in our relationship. It is something like this chanting is most intimate relationship with the Supreme Personality. And you can imagine that you are in the most intimate relation with your husband or wife, and someone starts scrolling the phone, reading newspaper. It's an offensive, and definitely kills the intimacy, isn't it? So we should also establish very deep, intimate relationship with the Lord through this chanting of the holy name. So when you chant, take your time just for chanting, and do nothing during your chanting. Nothing else, just chant. Just call the Lord in your heart. Yes. In such a way, you'll be able to attract Krishna. Like Mother Yashoda, when she churned butter, she was calling Krishna. She was singing songs about Krishna. And Krishna was helplessly attracted to her. So we should also chant with this spirit, to call Krishna in our heart, to hanker for Krishna, to long for Krishna, to cry for Krishna. And then Krishna will come. Hare Krishna. Is there any question or comment? Yes, please. Hare Krishna.
And it's a very wonderful class, and thank you very much for this. And is it possible to establish or develop a loving relationship with Krishna in this lifetime, or do we need many lifetimes Because today morning my wife asked me this question.
Okay. Prabhupada explained that this is the question of a moment. But the problem is that we have so many other things in our heart that we should kick them out of our heart. These other things are called anarthas. Artha means something that is of value, that is wanted. And anartha means something that is not wanted, that is without any proper value. But we ascribe value to something that is without any value. Understand? So we ascribe value to things of this world, to money, property, to different sense enjoyment, and so on. We think that these things are of any value, but they are not. They are of any value only if they are used for Krishna's service. Otherwise, they are completely useless. And actually, it is explained that big crown on your head, if you're drowning, it will make your drowning faster. You understand? So, if we are drowning in material ocean of material existence, that means that we are not connected with Krishna, then all our assets, so-called artha, is just anartha. So that should be understood very thoroughly. So it is possible, especially if we live our spiritual life very seriously. Therefore, I invite all of you to go deep in your spiritual search, because otherwise you will be cheated completely. Yes. It is explained like someone may enjoy to build a house in a certain place, but maybe this certain place where it's wonderful view and wonderful neighborhood, everyone is nice there, but this particular place is placed on shifting sand. It's just a matter of time when this house built on shifting sand will collapse. And you may say to such a person, don't build house here, there is shifting sand, it will collapse. But if such a person argues, but here is so nice, I love this neighborhood, people are nice here, nice view, it's peaceful atmosphere, but when the sand shifts, your house will collapse, and then you will cry, you will suffer terribly. So, if therefore this process is given, we cannot just shift our mentality just like this, because from time immemorial we were helplessly addicted to material life. So therefore this process of Krishna consciousness is scientifically based how to refocus our consciousness from matter to spirit. Yes. So everything one does in spiritual life is refocusing his consciousness from matter to spirit. Yes. This is the science of spiritual life. So, and chanting is integral part of this refocusing of our consciousness. So we put so much stress on this chanting of the holy names because they are most powerful. And this is not some sectarian view from some India or somewhere, but it's universal. Also, Lord Jesus said, "Hallowed be thy names." Yes, and in Psalms, in the Bible, it is explained, those who call upon the name of the Lord, they will be saved. And in Islam also, they have 99 names of Allah, and they call them every day. And also in Buddhism, they call upon the names of Lord Buddha. So we can see that this is universal way of connecting with the Absolute. Yes, this is scientific way. And there are also scientific researches that confirm power of chanting the holy names. Yes. Just last week there was some from medical university in Slovenia came to invite devotees for some medical research connected also with the chanting. And she was explaining how there were made different experiments, and they gave to certain groups some imaginary mantra, and the other groups, they chanted Maha Mantra. And the results were strikingly different. Yes. The influence on brain, for example. Although this mantra was very similar, but was just made up by people. But this Maha Mantra was effective, while this imaginary mantra was not. This is scientifically proven, and you can check and find out on internet. I believe it must be available. So yes, my point is, we can achieve perfection in this life, definitely, if we take it seriously. But if we don't, even in millions of lifetimes, it's not possible to achieve. This is the secret. This is the secret. So better to become serious in this lifetime, and takes only a few years of serious endeavor. Like Mother Yashoda endeavored seriously, and then Krishna showed his mercy. And if we will endeavor seriously, Krishna will definitely show us his mercy. But if we don't endeavor seriously, Krishna will see you have other priorities in life. You have other lovers. I'm not your exclusive lover.
We cannot cheat Krishna.
Yes, we cannot cheat Krishna. In Bible it is explained that the Lord is jealous God. This might seem to be negative quality, but actually we have the same understanding in a little different way. The Lord is not attached to anything. So if you have your material these material attachments, and you don't want to give them up, Krishna allows you to just continue with your material life forever. Yes, but he still invites you to completely surrender to him. Sarva dharmam parityajya mam ekam sharanam vraja aham tvam sarva papebhyo mokshayishimi marsha. This is the conclusion of Bhagavad-gita. He says, abandon all types of dharma, of religion, of different obligations, and just surrender unto me. I will protect you from all kinds of sinful reactions. Do not fear. Do not fear. Yes. So take spiritual life seriously, and your life will be perfect. Hare Krishna. Anything else? Yes, please.
Thank you
you so much for a very nice lecture. I would like to ask how to deal with attachment to family members. Like in Srila Prabhupada in Bhagavad-Gita mentions that one should not give up affection for them. So one should not, in the name of spiritual life, also to just like be rude or give up family members. But how to spiritualize this attachment?
Yes, this is very good question. Thank you. Krishna explains in 15th chapter of Bhagavad-Gita, Mamaivam Shurjiva Loke Jiva Bhutak Sanatana Manakshashtan Indriyani Prakristani Karshati. That every living entity is my part and parcel. And it is explained in Chaitanya Charitamrita, Jivara Swarupa Hoy Krishna Nitya Das. That we are always servants of Krishna. So if every living entity is part of Krishna, that means that we are a servant of every living entity. And if we love Krishna, we will love every living entity also. So our family members are entrusted to us by Krishna. They're not just by chance our family members. They are meant for our spiritual progress. They are meant for us to teach us that we are just servants. Yes. And in family life, this can be realized. Either you're a father or a mother or a child. Everyone has to be a servant. Otherwise, there will be fight. And therefore, there is so much fight because people don't realize that they are servants. Because servant will not fight with the master. Understand? And if we accept everyone as our master, we will not fight with anyone. Yes. So if husband accepts everyone as his masters, that he's servant of everyone, he will not fight. If mother accepts that she's just a servant, she will not fight. If children accept that we are just servants, they will not fight. Then it's spiritual harmony prevailing. So it is said, the family that prays together stays together. That family that sings together clings together. Family that dances together advances together. So yes, family members are entrusted to us. In 5th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, it is explained, Gurur na sasyat svajano na sasyat, pita na sasyat, janani na sasyat, Devam na tasyan na patishcha sasyan na mochayatya samapita mrityum. That one shouldn't become a guru, one shouldn't become a father or a mother or a husband or even a deity if he is not able to deliver those who are dependent on him or her. So yes, this is very important service for our family members. So we have natural affection, and this is natural. We shouldn't try to diminish our affection. We should be affectionate, but in Krishna consciousness. We should understand that these family members are Krishna's beloved children, and they are part of Krishna actually, and sent by Krishna for me to serve them. Of course, these different services are according to our social role, of our social position. So father has different position and role than a child or a wife. So we should properly understand that. Therefore, in this instance, this etiquette comes into play, and then everything can, life can be very smooth if everything is conducted according to etiquette. Yes, as soon as there is no etiquette, then it's struggle for survival, struggle for supremacy, who is more powerful, comes into play, and then everything is destroyed. Loving relationships are destroyed. Everything is destroyed. So yes, this is important to have proper vision, that everyone is sent to me to serve them. Also family members. So we can have very loving relationships. If we are harsh to anyone, that means that we didn't understand the first lecture of spiritual life. Hare Krishna. Anything else? Yes, please.
I was thinking, so Yashoda Mai, she was very devoted and she is a great devotee of Krishna.
Yes.
So, how do we understand that then? Did Yashoda Mai know everything about the Vedas? How do we understand those people who are too inclined to Vedas, while there's those people who are too inclined to Bhakti? So did Yashoda Mai knew all the Vedas, 4 Vedas, all the Upanishads? How did she get attachment to Krishna?
Yes, very good question. Thank you. In Vrindavan, love is so powerful that eclipses knowledge of Krishna's greatness. But it is explained by our acharyas that when there is separation from Krishna, this separation from Krishna is so scorching, like you are under the scorching rays of midday sun. Of course, in Sweden, this sun is not so strong, but in India, the sun can be very scorching, intolerable. But although there is scorching sun, everything is seen very clearly, because it's very bright light. So in this bright light of separation from Krishna, which is very scorching, painful, everyone understands that Krishna is Supreme Personality of Godhead. They have most profound philosophical knowledge, more than these scholars of Upanishads and the Vedas. Yes. For example, when Krishna left gopis during Rasa Lila, Rasa dance, the gopis were searching for Krishna. And they were searching and asking different plants and animals and so on, where is Krishna, where is Krishna, where is Krishna? In deep agony, because they were bereft of Lord Krishna's association. And then they found the footprints of Krishna. But these footprints of Krishna weren't alone. There were footprints also of Srimati Radharani by the footprints of Lord Krishna. And then they prayed, Anayuradatanunam Bhagavan Harir Ishvara Yano Vihaya Govinda Pritoyat Yam Anayadraha. That just see, Lord Krishna left us all because he went with some other gopi who is more expert in love than we are. And they used word Bhagavan Harir Ishvara. So they knew that Krishna is Bhagavan and is Ishvara, or Ishvara means controller, the absolute controller. So they had this understanding. But when the devotees in Vrindavan are with Krishna together, then this is like soothing rays of full moon. Yes, when the Kārttika started, it was a full moon. So soothing rays of full moon. And this is so pleasing that everyone forgets about Krishna's Aishwarya, or greatness. Yes. So, and And it is explained, you mentioned these Upanishads and so on, is some verse in 10th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, Triyat Upanishad Bishcha, that explains that Mother Yashoda, although Krishna is searched for by 3 Vedas and Upanishads and so on, he cannot be found. But Mother Yashoda was able to catch this absolute reality with stick in her hand. Yes. Therefore, she was way, way, way beyond these Upanishads and other Vedas. Yes. Hare Krishna. Yes.
Can I ask one more? Actually, as you mentioned, it was very interesting. I would like you to explain a little more about that, if possible. That loving relationships, not only, I mean, with the core family also, devotees, Vaishnava family and like that, are destroyed when we don't follow Vaishnava etiquette. Can you explain if I understand?
Yes, yes, this is very important. Vaishnava etiquette is described to be an ornament of a devotee. That means the rules of conduct amongst the devotees. Is an ornament of a devotee. And of course, devotee is one who tries to please Krishna. This is definition of a devotee. Is one who tries to please Krishna without any selfish desire. Anya bilashita shunyam jnana karmadhyanavartam anukulyena Krishna nushranam bhaktir uttama. So devotee is one who has no selfish desire whatsoever, and this knowledge of absolute truth doesn't cover his devotion, his bhakti. And everything he does is for the pleasure of Krishna. So this Vaishnava etiquette is the ornament which is meant for Krishna to be pleased. Yes. Like the wife puts ornaments on her to be more attractive to her husband, to be more beautiful in the eyes of her husband. So in the same way, devotee puts ornaments of Vaishnava etiquette on himself or herself to please the Lord. And it's so Vaishnava etiquette should be studied and known. What is proper Vaishnava etiquette, how to behave towards Vaishnavas. Most important thing is to understand that we are Nitya Das, always a servant. And one perfect formula, which is difficult but it's necessary for our life, was given by Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself personally. And he said, Trinada Pisunichana Tarorivasa Hishnana Amanina Manadena Kirtanyak Sadahari. And one should be more humble than a blade of grass, and as tolerant as a tree. And he shouldn't expect any respect for himself from anyone, but he should be ready to offer all respect to others. This is the key for success. If we have such an attitude, we'll be very careful not to offend any devotee or any living entity actually, and be very tolerant. Whatever others do to us, it's not important. We are not important. We are less important than a blade of grass. Yes. We should not defend ourselves. This is also explained in Shastra. But we should defend our service, opportunity for service. Not particular type of service, but service to Krishna. This shouldn't be taken away from us. Yes. But otherwise, we're just servants of every living entity. That doesn't mean that we serve these conditioned living entities according to their crazy whims. Also, doctor doesn't serve the patient according to patient's whims. but he serves in such a way that the patient can be cured as soon as possible, isn't it? This is the purpose of the service of a doctor to a patient. So we also serve conditioned living entities, not in the way they would like us to serve them, because they're in diseased state, as they're crazy. So we serve them in such a way that that they can become cured as soon as possible. So this should be our attitude, our conduct in this life. So serve every living entity, and especially devotees, and not fight with them, and not expect any honor for yourself. Then you can be peaceful and happy in any circumstance. Hare Krishna. Thank you. Yeah, you have.
I just remember there's another story where the gopis are searching for Krishna.
Yes.
And they're searching for Krishna, but suddenly they instead meet Narayan.
Yes.
They meet Narayan. But it seems they're not so impressed. They have you seen Krishna? I think they ask him, have you
Yes.
seen Krishna?
Yes.
And isn't that they don't want actually to see Krishna as God, because they
Yes.
have another rasa, another taste, another
Yes.
feeling.
Yes. Another relationship. This is very important story also. And it was discussed, this story, Lord Chaitanya discussed this story with Venkata Bhatta in Rangan, in this place of Ranga Kshetra in South India, when Lord Chaitanya was traveling in through South India and stayed at Venkata Bhatta's place, one Brahmana's place, for Chaturmasya, for 4 months. And Venkata Bhatta was from Sri Vaishnava Sampradaya, and they worshipped Narayan. And then Lord Chaitanya joked with him, and he said, how is it that Lakshmi Devi, the consort of Lord Narayana, was performing hundreds and hundreds of years of tapasya to be able to connect with Krishna, to dance with Krishna. And then Venkata Bhatta said that this is not a problem, because Krishna and Narayan are one personality. But the funny thing is that Lakshmi Devi, although performing tapasya, couldn't attain Krishna. Yes. So she wanted to attain Krishna, but she couldn't. But gopis didn't want to associate with Lord Narayan. Although Lakshmi was the consort of Lord Narayan, she wanted to associate with Krishna. But the consorts of Lord Krishna didn't want to associate with Lord Narayan. When they met Lord Narayan, what to speak Lord Narayan, Lord Krishna himself turned himself to Lord Narayan. They just asked him, have you seen Krishna? Please tell us where Krishna's gone. Yes. So this relationship with Krishna is so deeper, is so more sweet than the relationship with Lord Narayan, where this is Lord Narayan is a great personality, but Krishna is extremely sweet personality. Yes. Although the Lord, of course, is one, but still there is difference in relationship. And everyone wants to taste sweet relationships. No one can be really satisfied in some formal relationship. Yes. So one can have formal relationship with some great personality, but this doesn't satisfy the heart. One then returns home and he associates with his most beloved people. And there is where one really, his hankering for love is satisfied. So, connect with Krishna. You have this opportunity. Lord Chaitanya was so merciful and brought this most intimate connection to the Lord that is ever possible to develop. Please don't miss opportunity. It's so rare, so rare. Don't miss it. Hare Krishna. Shila Prabhupada ki jai, Gaura Bhakta Vrinda ki jai, Nitai Gaur Premanande, Hare Hare Bol.